Hello and welcome to Limmy's Lifestyle. Today I'm going to show you how to make crispy roast pork. So this is the piece that I'm going to work with. So now what's important is choosing the type of pork belly, the evenness that I'm talking about. So if you have a look here, this is what I'm trying to look for. Equal thickness across the meat. Not too much fat, but you need to have some fat in there. So you can see there's a little bit of layer of fat in there. But that's what I look for when I shop for a pork belly. You can buy pork bellies with bone on them. That's not a big drama. Again, if there's a bone, I try and find bone across the entire piece of meat. So we just want to keep that as even because the cooking time has to be even across the whole slab. So if you have bone on it, that's fine. You can actually take the bone off. You can use the bone for soup or something else. Don't be intimidated if you see bone on the pork belly, that's okay. Now, if you don't like your meat too porky, sometimes pork has that very strong smell, you can use more 5-spice powder. That 5-spice powder will mask that porkiness. So I don't mind the porkiness, but I'm going to use a moderate amount, so about maybe a heap of teaspoon. So that's the marinade. That's it. Simple, right? Now the most important part, of course, for a crispy pork belly is the crispy skin. And how do we achieve that? And what will happen now is the salt will dehydrate the skin. It will bring out all the moisture. It'll take about 10 to 15 minutes each time. I do it about 2 to 3 times depending on how much moisture there is. So 10 minutes is up. I've just brought the camera down so I can show you that moisture coming up. Can you see that little bubbles? It's quite a lot that's come up. So that's just 10 minutes and it's done quite a lot of drawing out of the moisture. I'm going to do it one more time to see how much more, and maybe we might have to do another time. Okay, so 5 minutes is up. You can see, I'll try and bring it closer. You can see that 5 minutes is up and it's not as wet or has as much moisture as previously. I'll show you another trick, a little tip that I've discovered along the way. I like to make lines before putting the oven, simply because when we roast this, when it's ready, you get a nice crispy top layer, and it's going to be very hard to chop into nice slices or slabs. So what I'm going to do is just make lines to actually help me cut later on, and I'll explain it when we get to that stage when we're cutting it. So I'm just going to make a little incision. I'm not going to make across the top, I'm just going to make somewhere in the middle, so you see what I mean. So I like it to be about approximately an inch thick, so I make an incision. Okay, all done. So you can see that incision is not too deep, it's just enough to have that line, so it's easy to cut for me later on. On the top, I'd like to have a bit of white pepper seasoning, just a couple of sprinkles. The salt, I'll just pick up from whatever I have left here. This is just for flavor. Before I put this in the oven, I'm just going to put a dash of oil. Simple reason is this oil is going to help me fry up the skin. So it's like deep frying, but in the oven. Not a lot of oil, but just a layer. Now the trick is to be on maximum. So my oven goes up to 275. What it's going to do, it's going to fry up the skin, it's going to crackle. If you don't have an oven, you can use a turbo broiler or turbo oven. That will do the job. I've done it on a barbecue with a lid before, that works as well. As long as you have a temperature on the barbecue lid, then it's okay, otherwise it gets a bit tricky. Keep an eye on it. This first 15 to 30 minutes is crucial. What it's going to do, it's just going to get the crackling going, and once it gets to the stage where we like it, so the crackle starts to pop up and it's all done, then we just cook the meat through. Remember the part where I said I make the incisions so that it can help me chop it easier? Now you'll see the benefits of it. So if there wasn't any incisions there, one flat crispy bit, it's really hard to get that, because it's so crispy. When you chop it, it just breaks. So You know, if you have that, you can use a really heavy cleaver and just whack it down. It'll do the job, a nice sharp cut. Or the trick to this is, because you've got incisions done, all I do is just use the incisions as a guide and just tap it down. So you'll see that it makes a very clean cut. Here we go. Look at that. Nice and juicy. It's cooked through. That's what we want. Perfect. Crackling. Nice and crispy. That's all we need. If you want to make this really presentable, here are the offcuts. You don't need to have these offcuts. Like, I like to take it off because I like to make the roast pork really pretty. And usually the corners, the sides are a bit dark. So if you want to take a nice photo, I normally leave this offcuts out of your serving plate. But let's get into it. Let's stuff into it. I'm gonna give this a go. Always the first test, a chef or a cook's taste. I'm pretty sure you can hear that. Awesome. Right, happy with it. Salty, it's got the crispy texture, nice juicy insides, enough fat in the middle. It's a foolproof method. Really simple, roast pork at its best. It took me years to get to this stage. So there you go. Chopping all done. These offcuts, you can put it in soup. Really tasty soup. Limmy's roast pork. Nice and easy. Enjoy. Time to eat now. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. Subscribe to the channel. You'll get a lot more food recipes and ideas. And if you have any other ideas of how to improve my roast pork, please put a comment at the bottom. I'd like to learn more and improve on my technique. Till next time, cheers.